Hi guys, welcome to the Fight Edge channel. One of the heads of the Matchroom Boxing Frank Smith shared the latest news about the organization of a rematch between the company's top client, ex-United heavyweight champion Briton Anthony Joshua, and his abuser, Ukrainian Alexander Usyk. In September in London, Joshua lost to Usyk by unanimous decision, losing the WBA Super, IBF and WBO titles. It is expected that in the spring of 2022, the big guys will have a rematch. "We are working," Smith commented modestly. "I was already asked the other day about when exactly something will become known, but you still need to remember that when planning an event of the scale, there are a lot of details that need to be agreed. It takes a little more time. Now we are working through all the options. We are constantly in contact with Alex Krasyuk from K2 and Usyk's manager Egis Klimas, and of course with Joshua's management company too. By time, I think something will become clear in the next 2-3 weeks." Smith claims that there are several options for where we can have a rematch. Britain, of course, is one of them. "You know, I'm one of those who quietly do their job. My job is behind the stands, but at least the good thing is that we have only one trick left. We rematch with Usyk. All these compensation payments and conversation about them. Understand, our job is to provide the client with options, but Joshua's priority has always been an immediate rematch with Usyk." Dan Smith repeated almost word for word everything that the company's boss Eddie Hearn had said more than once before. Why does no one give Joshua credit for fighting with Usyk and not giving up the belt? For always fighting with the best of the best. Joshua is only interested in one thing – to smear Usyk in a rematch and regain his titles. Meanwhile, promoter Frank Whyte from Queensberry Promotions thinks otherwise. "I don't believe that Joshua will fight with Usyk in a rematch," and the ex-champion himself is categorical. "Refuse to fight with Usyk and cover himself with shame." Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoyed the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 10,000 subscribers on my channel. I'm trying very hard, absolutely every day, and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are my support. Thank you so much. Malik Scott, a former heavyweight fighter and now the coach of the former WBC American Deontay Wilder, gave an interview to the British media. In the conversation, the mentor gave an answer to the question about possible cooperation with the former United champion from Britain, Anthony Joshua, commented on his situation with the search for a new coach, and also expressed his opinion about Wilder's possible duel against the British ex-challenger Derek Chisora. "If Joshua calls you and asks you to train him, I will never coach Anthony Joshua. With all due respect, I don't think Anthony Joshua needs a new coach, generally. I'm very happy with his team he has rebuilt in the past. I just think that the reason for the defeat in the fight against Usyk was not the training system. If that was a case, then people would need to talk about it when he knocked out Whyte. It was necessary to talk about it when he knocked out Pulev, but people are arranged in such a way that when everything goes well, it seems to them that the fighter doesn't need a new coach. He doesn't need a new coach. His team must collectively come up with a new plan for the fight. Because, you know, it's possible. It seems to people that the team cannot collectively come up with a plan and work better next time. The option to try with the same team and do everything right or better next time is very underestimated and is not allowed in this sport. In boxing, someone has to win and someone has to lose. Of course, there are fighters who need new coaches, but as for me, Joshua doesn't need a new mentor. They went around the world, so let's see how it ends. Deontay Wilder doesn't say anything? No, Deontay didn't tell me anything about ending his career, nothing like that. He came to this sport when he was 20-21. He came and did what he said he would do. He became a world champion. I recently lost one of the best trilogies in history. We might think that now Deontay Wilder is saying, I don't feel the way I felt a year ago. No, it's not the end of the world. He's human, that's normal. There was a time when Tyson Fury said he was leaving, just a few years ago. With all due respect, I don't want to say where he was. But we know these demons and where he came from. Even if Deontay does speak in a similar way and feels that way, then that's fine. We constantly have people who talk about quitting their job, but they're lazy. They don't take risks. I look at it differently. There was a time when Holyfield was preparing to leave, and then he beat Mike Tyson, and the talk about his career ending stopped it. He just kept going. It comes with boxing, with life. So if he is tired of this sport, then that's fine. I will tell you what I told him. If you stay, you will become a two-time world champion. If you leave, you still won. You came and did everything you wanted in this sport. Your daughter, to whom you promised this, really has nothing to worry about. So all this talk about him leaving after losing to Tyson Fury is bullshit. He is the tallest puncher in the history of the sport. Not many fighters fought him with the same intensity as Tyson. And what I did together in the ring was legendary. And I was part of that shit. Promoter Eddie Hearn is trying in every way to widen the name of his ex-United Heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, who lost the WBA Super, IBF and WBO belts in September to Ukrainian Alexander Usyk, and will try to regain them in a rematch. It's no secret that Joshua's team was ready to accept compensation and allow the holders of all the belts over the division Usyk and compatriot Tyson Fury to determine the absolute and then meet with the winner. It took almost 1.5 months to negotiate, but in the end deal fell through. Now Hearn is trying to convince the public that Joshua has always been against this idea. The promoter slightly contradicts himself, but does not notice this point blank. All these negotiations on compensation. Do you know what the truth is? The fact is that Joshua has never been interested in this option, although the plan, as for me, was very good to get used the new mentor, hold an immediate fight with him in the corner, and only then go out the winner of the Usyk vs Fury fight. But the confusion began after Fury refused to fight Usyk. And so, Joshua told me from the first day that he was only interested in a rematch. He is a fighter to the core. I try to get in with my advice. The decision is always his. The feats are different. Joshua lost to Andrews ahead of schedule, and his Usyk simply overboxed him. Yes, in the fight with Usyk there was an extremely wrong tactic for the fight, but you have to pay tribute to Alexander too. The fans know for sure that Usyk is very good. Joshua deserves incredible respect for at least taking the fight with the Ukrainian. It's no secret that most in his place would simply have dropped the WBO belt, but Joshua fought him once and will fight him again, Hearn says. According to the boss of Matchroom Boxing, Joshua was against the compensation and he considers him shameful. Every time I offer him some options, he answered, and then how do I walk the streets? How to look into the eyes of the fans? No, that's not my option. He always considered such action something shameful, and he always believed that he would beat Usyk in a rematch. And we believe in him too. It's easier now. We have only one option left, the one that has always been the main one. He refused my offer because he is an old-school fighter. He always craves new challenges, and then defeat simply burns him from the inside. He knows that Ruiz was simply underestimated, and Usyk overboxed him. Usyk was better. That's what annoys Joshua the most, said Eddie Hearn. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.